Hey guys, how's it going? You are listening to Sophie and Chibundo, and this is the Nerd List, where we discuss all things nerdy we personally relate to, from comics, movies, TV shows, anime, and the likes. Thank you. So, hello everyone. My name is Sophie, and
Hi, I'm Chibundo.
and you're welcome to the Nerd List, where we just talk about things that interest us as nerds. I'm a bona fide nerd. Like literally, like my current job. When I got called in for an interview, I had like a presentation and I put part-time nerd, and then the MD was like, "What does that mean?" I'm like, honestly, if I had to tell you.
So I have comic books on my CV. Like in the interest part, I put comic books with my full chest.
I'm telling you, like, if you want me, you gotta accept all of me. Just saying.
I was having a conversation with a coworker and I decided to talk about anime or something. He just looks at me and I'm like, what? He's like, this is not what I expect. I'm like, that changed your expectations.
Yeah, like I'm sorry, but I'm so happy talking about like DC stuff and Marvel stuff, and I go to the cinemas to watch these movies 3 to 5 times because I have to, just and I try not to like do it for dates because I just feel like you guys look at me
you go
like
alone.
either you go alone or you go with someone like you, right? So like
My
when you're
brothers,
arguing,
yes. Like
and
after the movies, and you have that thing, you're like, okay, this, and this, and this, and this.
I'm not
this.
even decent enough to argue after the movie. I'm doing it right there. And then like it's like that people start looking at you like, yeah, so you don't see me look at you differently when you're doing other stuff.
Oh my god, when you talk about football.
Yeah. Sorry guys. I'm not a big or huge football fan, but I don't think you need to have that to be a nerd, right? Like
No,
it's just having interest in like
And
other
I think
stuff.
what I feel like nerd or geek stuff is kind of mainstream right now.
Mhm.
So what qualifies as it differs to different
Yeah.
people. So people kind of stay in some sections, or people spread across. So it depends on what you
Geeks
like.
are actually in one section, because this is something like I've had to like overdo. My mom was talking about me to someone and I did not know. She came back home to cast herself, right? And she was like, I was telling this person that my daughter is a geek. I'm like, I'm not a geek. It's a different meaning. Like, no offense to geeks, but like I'm not gonna stay on a particular subject for a really long time. Like I just have multiple diverse interests in like random stuff that but I'm not going to, slice somebody's throat.
Oh god.
N-
I feel like
Not literally,
anime fans
obviously.
terrify me.
Yes.
They're very scary people.
And they have like intense eyes.
Wait, not anime fans, not anime itself.
No. I think like when you start watching something for a really long time, because that's what anime does.
Because they
Like,
don't speak Japanese just from watching anime. I'm like, how is that even possible?
it's like those people that like Korean movies, right?
Oh,
those girls in
yeah.
school, and then like they're just
They
like
start
speaking
singing Korean
like,
songs on the road and everything. Yeah, it's quite like my brother came home one day and he was like, "Do you know what? My classmates have been teasing me." I'm like, "Why?" Because I like anime. And he looks
Aw.
at me and he looks at me and goes like, "Because you're my sister, I didn't have a chance." I was like I thought I was trying to connect with him, like finding
Yeah.
something that we could both enjoy because of the age gap, and I'm here being like insulted for it. I'm like, okay, no, aha.
Yeah, my sister doesn't care for most of this stuff. She's like, you need a life.
Oh, my sister is really into video games, like comics and anime
Ah.
and stuff. They are her theme of video games.
Can you
That's her
adopt
thing.
me as well? just saying. Because I remember when I wanted to watch like the Wonder Woman movie the second time. Yeah, I mean, I'd gone the first time and I wanted to go again. My sister was like, we're not doing that. Like, we're not
Oh.
doing that. I was like, no, I'll pay for it. She's like, I know, but we're not doing that.
Me and my brother, we have like yearly X-Men, the entire thing from X1 and down. We have yearly reruns, and it's the best thing ever.
Oh my goodness. Maybe I can still like try to get her into something.
Maybe like that's what
It's
I
not
did
too late, right?
with them. They were into anime before I was, so I
Mhm.
brought comics, they brought anime, and we met
Okay.
in the middle. So I still don't play video games, but like we have things we can talk about.
Yeah, maybe I should do that, because like I tried to like get into her. She's also pretty cool, so it's not so difficult to be completely honest. Like she's really into like the theater world and stuff, and
Oh,
like
that's cool.
I really loved that growing up, but I honestly I was not as intense as she is right now. And like when new stuff comes up, she's like, we need to see this. Like when Hamilton first hit Disney Plus, my sister got the HD version pirated. I'm like, yo, first of
I
all,
don't think you
like
meant to say it on the podcast.
they can't find us. It's long gone. But I was like, first of all, I'm afraid of you. Secondly, don't ever like use our address because I don't want like the FBI coming here. Like, how did you get this done? And she's like, don't worry. We're gonna watch it. And it was so cool. So maybe I could just like get her into like one of, I don't know.
I feel like you start like in. Okay, when someone starts watching anime, I tell them start with stuff like Death Note, which I feel is middle ground in that it's super short because anime is always very long.
Yeah.
And even though it's like, it just feels like the easiest way to come into before, don't tell me.
And it
that
has
with
like an
Naruto.
interesting story.
Yeah, it's super interesting and it's a really cool show. So yeah, start with Death Note.
Start with Parasite actually. So, but I'll look at Death Note as well. Also, that's the thing I was talking to Joshua about yesterday.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, so the thing with anime is, I get it. I
Mhm.
get the hype. But like, I think it takes a lot of commitment.
Yes.
Because you have to have your eyes on the screen, especially when to read the subtitles. And you're just joking with yourself
So,
if you
like,
think you don't need that.
Anime fans have this thing where they do not watch English dubbed anime. Like, it's like blasphemy, it's horrible,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
get
this
that,
and it's
right?
that.
Yeah.
Because of like the voice changes and
Mhm.
it just doesn't like convey the same tone and texture.
Yeah.
So when I first started watching Naruto, I watched it in English dub. I watched it in English dub.
See, now I know that because it takes a lot of commitment, right?
It was during
And-
the lockdown, right? And I would
okay,
have it
makes
playing in
sense.
the background. I'd be watching and just doing all that stuff. So when I now finished Naruto and went on to Shippuden, I watched it in Japanese
yeah.
and I noticed that, oh yeah, this, I had to look at my screen. I couldn't do anything else. I
can't.
noticed the difference very clearly.
Yeah, because like even the thing is, if you want to just say, it's just like any other like movie, I could figure out what's going on
No,
without. It's not the
insane.
same because then like the Lord, it's so different.
Let me ask you a question because
Mhm.
okay, so there's okay, don't worry, this will maybe like offline. Oh no, not offline.
No, just throw me out there to the dog to the
no,
wolves.
because I hear this argument of like the way Avatar is structured and how it's based
Uh-huh.
on some Japanese like anime
Yeah,
styles.
yeah, absolutely.
sometimes
Same thing
they
with
just-
Hellboy.
Yeah, so people
Mhm.
can like have this conversation if Avatar technically qualifies as anime.
Yeah.
So then I had this conversation in my head, like what makes something anime? Is it if it's originally, the language is originally Japanese? Is it the animation style? Is it the country of origin? Because if you watch something like Castlevania, which has
Mhm.
very strong animation style, but it's
Mhm.
not
clearly
technically anime.
Yeah.
So like, do you have to tick all the boxes to call it anime?
I think you have to kick most of the boxes.
So
at least.
what boxes do you need to
I'm the
tick?
the wrongest person to ask this, considering the fact that I've only seen one. But yeah, like what you said, I think you have to take the. I don't even want to say language part because it should be exclusive and inclusive, seeing as it's like everybody around the
Because
world.
even like the animation style is changing. Because you look at a new one like Attack on Titan
Uh-huh.
and compare it to like the OGs like Dragon Ball and Naruto, and you can see there are changes.
I
in
watched
animation.
Dragon Ball growing up. I actually did. I just remembered that I did.
My brothers
Maybe
love
that's like my
Dragon
first.
Ball.
That was my. I think that was my first intro.
There was a
into
lot of anime when we were younger, like Bakugan, Basupara, to 11. There were a lot of them, but we just
a
didn't
lot of-
know.
yeah, we
were
didn't.
anim-
Yeah, we were
it
not
was
like
animation to
yeah,
us. We just knew they
absolutely.
looked different. The
Yeah.
eyes were different.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everything was different.
So yeah, I feel like going back to your question, I think it's you have to tick most of the boxes. So of course the style is important. I mean, it's like the fundamental.
Yeah, but
of
what
the,
if it's not in English? What if it's like an American company or a British company that produced it?
again, this goes back to the age-old, in fact, the modern age question of should we be doing this, like just like when white girls wear like cornrows. I just think some things are unnecessary.
So
Don't
what's-
pander to other audiences. Let them, embrace it. Let them find their niche. It's like all this K-pop people, right? They
Yeah.
don't they love it despite the fact that it's in a
Not in
different
English.
language. Yeah, they just identify with the characters, and that's all that's important. You need to make your characters lovable.
Yeah, I think anime does that. They have a
Mhm.
recurring theme about underdog and like rising above adversity. And a friend was saying something to me that if you watch enough anime, you begin to analyze the messages they have, because they all have, except for some new ones, they all have the same message that no matter like the obstacle or the what you're going up against, you can do it. You can do it. Just believe in yourself.
That the same thing with motivational speakers, but okay.
It's so much better.
Oh, okay. Because you get to see in colors. So I get okay. Now I see better now. I see better now.
Okay.
It's just okay. So let's not go over the moon about anime, because we are not just going to be talking about anime. Clearly, we're going to be talking about a list of things that we absolutely adore. I already mentioned the movies, also the comic books,
and TV shows, and comparing our favorite TV shows. So basically, the plan is to talk about shows which are important to both me and Sophie, and shows we think at some point in time were important to the nerdiverse.
The shows that were my friends growing up, because I didn't have many. Yeah,
I feel like
they were people to me. I related to them on a very deep level, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
I feel like when you watch a TV show, sometimes you get so involved in the character that when you see something the writers put down or have them do, you're like, okay, no, this is what you have done. Like, you're wrong, and you just like cancel it out in your head.
Yeah, and like I think like just having interest in all of these things helps us to strike a balance. Because when I see a movie, I'm not just like looking at the characters. I'm looking at, did they follow through with the actual stories, the source material? Again,
are you one of those people that get like really in their head when things change from the source material?
yes, absolutely.
Oh my God,
absolutely, yeah.
Oh,
Like I think, see, pay obeisance to the source material.
yeah, but give
Don't
it,
go
like,
too
little
far
wiggle
away.
room to change things. Okay.
The death I just gave you, that's like my constant face when it make a change. Because like, okay, so like parts of the nerdy stuff that I like is I'm really into authors. Like when I say I like to read books, I read books based on the authors.
Yeah.
So it's like the catalog of what the author has written, right? So Dan Brown wrote this book, Angels and Demons. And the ending in the book is so different from the ending in the movie. And I was watching it, I was like, did someone punk me right now? Did they just slide in another movie while I was watching this? What's going on here? And people enjoyed it because it's honestly one of like the most brilliant movies, made from a book, like the adaptation of a book, and just like Silence of the Lambs. Okay, you should actually look at it. And like I was just like, no, it ruined it for me because it changed the ending.
I think for me, when you talk about comic books, or they change from canons and just different iterations, so they always like little changes. When I see TV shows or movies that differ, like I get it because those comics were made ages ago with very particular themes. They were in a very patriarchal society. A lot of things were different, so I don't expect you to bring that exact thing to me in 2021.
Yeah, but sometimes they're not even trying to appeal to the modern audience. They just think that, oh, this character needs to be, overwritten. And an example is, I'm sorry, I'm going to just shit on DC right now, but like the recent Superman movies, I love Zack Snyder. I think he's brilliant. I mean, I love 300, but with him it's always half and half.
Okay.
So like, I just think that he did not go too deep. Not that I think, I know for sure, because I've read the source material.
He did not go too deep, like how?
He doesn't care about the character. He just wants...
Why are you talking about Superman on 300?
No, I have complimented him on 300. Now it's time to shit on him.
Okay.
Like the amazing stuff in the reverse that he's done so far. And I just don't think he's that into like the character development. First of all, like the persona... He's a director, so a lot of like with the big screen, a lot of it is dependent on the director.
Yeah, in terms of how to capture like things, but like the actual character backstory and things like that.
I get what you mean, but like it's just like Josh Whedon with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Like he's also like a
Buffy.
I'm just saying, even like in the direction and the production, it's very, very dependent on the person that's like directing. And I think like it just makes Superman some sort of demigod. Which is great, but without the actual character development. I mean, Superman is... of course he's an alien, but he's an alien that grew up on Earth. So he has some sort of, like, earthly emotions. And, like, Superman in his movies is completely emotionless.
I feel like we've been spoiled by Smallville and Arrow.
But even the actual Superman. And I'm giving kudos to DC because they did amazing with the Justice League, like, animation series. And even with that, Superman had emotions.
But then JLU and JL were there were sequels to Batman the animated series and Superman the animated series, so there was groundwork for that. So I feel like when you get used to watching TV shows,
he didn't even care about the groundwork. And let me just start with like the Man of Steel. It was like 30 minutes of fighting in space. And they come down, and of course like a bunch of flashbacks that don't particularly relate. Then all of a sudden we're introduced to Lois Lane. I'm just saying, like, he didn't give us...
Like, she had no use in the movie. Like, I genuinely do not like her, but in that movie it was, like, different level of insanity.
Let's not start with cheating. I'm just trying to... Like, just going back to, like, just pay some sort of honor to the source material. Don't just read like 5 comic books and say, yeah, got it. This is what we're gonna do, and then follow. No, I'm one of those people. I'm definitely one of those people. So yeah, that's pretty much all. Thank you so much for listening and tuning in. Still Sophie and
Still Chibundo
for now.
If you like this episode or relate to our comical yet introspective banter, then like, subscribe, and share on all our social media platforms. YouTube at The Nerd List, Instagram at @the_nerdlist, Twitter at @the_nerdlist. Bye for now.